from Texas, 5 minutes.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to our witnesses for being here. This is an incredibly important hearing today. It's important to my constituents in Texas. We've had a lot of Texans on our committee already talk today about the challenges that we have seen over the summer in particular, but obviously, as you know and referenced earlier, Winter Storm Uri and some of the challenges that we've seen in recent years. You know, throughout the last month when I was at home, I lost count of the number of times that I got a notice from my electricity provider or from ERCOT or from another source asking me to conserve energy at home because of concerns about the grid and because we really weren't sure that we'd be able to have the ability to meet demand at those peak hours. And, you know, as we discussed, and you all have already said, losing power isn't something that's theoretical for us. This isn't a concern that we imagine, but this is something that we are very much still living with from Winter Storm Uri. People in my hometown in Houston and across the state of Texas are carrying with them the memories of that storm and are deeply concerned about reliability and resiliency of our grid. And I think it's important to just to remember that storm led to the death of more than 200 Texans, and it threatened the health and safety of more than 4.3 million people who lost power, many for several days, including me at home. And then, of course, we had to boil our water and deal with all the other concerns that come from a long power outage. And unfortunately, several years later, we've seen very little action from ERCOT, which is the state's power grid operator, as you all know. And just last week, after this extreme heat in Texas all summer, ERCOT issued its second highest alert for the first time since Winter Storm Uri. And we narrowly averted rolling blackouts in Texas last week. So, we were able to do this by asking people to conserve and to reduce our energy consumption, everything from, turning up the thermostat to not running your appliances. And I think it's really important in this hearing today where we're talking about energy efficiency that is part of the solution that we're asked to do as individuals and collectively. So I'm a little bit disappointed that the legislation that we're taking up today undermines the ability of DOE and EPA to finalize regulations that are related to energy efficiency. And I want to spend the time that we have first touching on something you mentioned in your testimony, Dr. Ortiz, just about the work that FERC has done to improve the ability of the grid to withstand these extreme weather events. And could you just talk a little bit about the role that efficiency plays in shaving off peak demand and in avoiding grid stress in these kinds of moments?
Thanks for the question, Congressman. Energy efficiency at the consumer level is not part of the jurisdiction of the agency. To the degree that efficiency measures reduce peak demand, they obviously put a downward pressure on resource adequacy in the planning context, and then also on required reserves in the operating context.
Okay, thank you. And I want to take the minute and a half I have left to touch on one other topic. It's something that we've talked around a little bit today, but I do think it's really important that one of the things we've talked about for years and that we're talking about in this hearing is kind of that nexus of gas and electric reliability. And could you just talk a little bit, again, Dr. Ortiz, about the importance of natural gas reliability to the reliability of the bulk power sector, and a little bit about some of the gaps and the laws and regulations around gas reliability?
Oh, great. It looks like I have 50 minutes to go on, so I'm happy. So natural gas system reliability is fundamentally crucial to electric reliability, and it's only grown more so. To the degree that I think we're coming to a situation where the interactions between those systems are so tight and so linked that there's a real rethinking that needs to occur. And the Commission has explored this in its New England Gas Electric forums. And then in addition, as a result of a lot of the gas failures that occurred during Winter Storm Uri, at the request of the Commission, the North American Electric Standards Board issued a recent report recommending a number of changes to gas system planning and operations to help better support reliability. Those are very complex. I'm not a gas expert, so can't quite go too far, but just to say that, to reiterate your point, that the reliability of the natural gas system is fundamentally critical to the reliability of the electric system.
Well, thank you so much for that. I know I've gone over my time, so I appreciate it, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate both of you and your testimony today. Thank you so much.
You're the ranking member. I'll give you some lenience. Now